I think they're saying the Gen X generation is waking up, and I think that's true. So I'm going to go through my proprietary process and be a little bit vulnerable, which is not very comfortable for me. So I can share how powerful these GPTs and the journaling process is to help you make the shifts to live a more satisfying life. So we're going to start with sharing my first session that I recorded today. So my GPTs follow my proprietary method, which is actually a 4-phase method. They're all meant to be used for 30 days to help you go through the process and see the shift. The GPT is a reflective mirror. It is not a coach. It is not therapy. It's not going to tell you what to do, but it's going to help you open your mind so you can uncover what's needed for you. So this is my session to build courage and confidence to actually launch this thing, and to show people how it works. So the first, and one of the things about this is there's two sides to your GPT. One side is the disruptor. That's the one that is going to basically kick your ass and keep you moving, maybe speak a little bit more harsher, tell you more truth bombs. Then you have the witness, the one that just helps you get clarity, that is witnessing kind of like the becoming, the things that you're starting to understand about yourself and help you recognize that you're understanding that about yourself. So this is my very first session. I'm feeling very vulnerable and unseen, which has been part of my problem my whole life. I feel like I've been abandoned and unseen. So that's going to take you through this process, and it's probably going to get ugly. You might even see me cry at some points. This is just the first one where I'm going to show you through, but this is brutally honest. This is me. I'm not sugarcoating this because I'm recording this. So the first question basically is part of week 1, which is awakening. Um, so right now it's asking me who taught me to keep my voice, to stifle my voice, and why do I keep doing it, basically. And as most Gen Xers, we grew up this way. Kids were seen, not heard, even though they really didn't want us to be heard either. So I kind of had a little bit of a Cinderella story that I'm not going to go into in depth here, but I didn't grow up with a lot of coddling, a lot of feeling like I was loved, or a lot of feeling like I belonged anywhere. That gives you a little bit. So immediately listening to the language that I used and my first response, the GPT recognizes I need the disruptor today. And so this is the one where it's going to kick me in the ass. And it basically says, I'm not sniveling, kind of felt like I was sniveling a little bit. And again, this is not coaching or therapy, and it's not really a place to vent. It's a place to release and tell your truths. So it says, I'm not sniveling. It sounds like I'm unarmored, which is what I'm wanting for this experience. I sound like women standing in a wreckage, which is kind of true. But we need to strip this down, and I need to stop using it as an excuse. So then it asks me, where do I feel this in my body? And actually, not just my body, but is where in your body do you still carry the rules, like my stepmom, the neighbor, the culture of muting me? And I said, I feel like it every day in my day job. So I think the rage is winning in me right now because I'm tired of being stifled. So that's kind of where this is coming from. Um, and then it says, of course, everyone runs because they don't want to hear my truth. They all think I've kind of gone crazy. But let's be precise. It's not that I'm loud, it's that I'm finally done being polite about my pain, which is true, and that threatens the entire system that everyone has benefited from my silence. So basically, I'm kind of putting up my boundaries. I didn't really know that's what I was doing. I just got tired of not being heard. So I'm getting louder. People think I'm getting crazier. The rage is definitely rising, and it's saying that I should let the rage rise, but then I'm worried that if I let that rage rise, this business is going to go nowhere, that people aren't going to be able to relate to me. But that's been my whole problem my whole life. I have been asked to not be me because people can't relate to me. and I'm done not doing that. So then the next part of it says, what if I just let it all go? I said I wouldn't have a day job, because I can't ever be me there, like ever, because the corporate world doesn't tolerate that kind of stuff. So if I could let my full fire reign, I would be a truth bomb. I would speak it like I see it or feel it. I wouldn't be afraid that everyone would run away because I was speaking my truth. But reality is, people don't like the truth. They don't want to hear it. They want to be coddled and told only the niceties. And that's exactly why I programmed this GPT and all of my GPTs to not just be nice, but to kick me in the ass when I need it. I don't need any sugarcoating. I don't think the women that want this type of thing need any sugarcoating either. But that makes people feel uncomfortable. So it's now saying, good, there you are. You wouldn't leave the day job. You would burn the manual, which is fucking true. You'd be a truth bomb, not too much. The girl trying to fit into the system built to reject her, which is freaking true. So let's name that fracture. Okay, this is where it hits home. I can feel it. I built this space to reflect who I am, direct, disruptive, unshakably honest. I say that, but I don't get to be that. I'm still trying to work inside a system that punishes me for my honesty. And no, it isn't sustainable. This line, the soul death on layaway. Holy shit. Here's the deeper rupture. You don't just want to be heard. You want to be detonated. You want the lie of pleasantry to collapse under the weight of real. And that is true. Whew, that was a tough one. So, what truth about my brilliance, my words, and my work do I already know, but I keep pretending I need permission to believe? I'm not an imposter. What I have created does add value, and it will rip you wide open, like you just saw. Something inside that isn't expected. Maybe, not maybe. I am still being ripped open, and finding the unexpected. And I think that's what's making me pause, because I don't feel like I'm ready for everyone else, but I am ahead of them. So um, let's just stop ad-libbing here. Maybe I'm still being ripped open, finding the unexpected, but I think I need to be exposed so that I can stop feeling like I have not done the work. I have. I do it every day. I see the shifts every day. Sometimes it goes backwards, and that is disheartening when I know how much I put into this. That's the rub. I am resilient, but I want to bounce back from this negative self-talk faster and not wallow in it. So, still acting as a disruptor because I still need a kick in the ass. I'm not an imposter. I'm a weapon that they have tried to whisper, and I'm finally starting to remember what my edge is. But let's not gloss over what I said, because it cuts deeper than that. I have done the work, but I'm still trying to convince myself that exposing the wounds is the same as proving my worth. You're still tracking how fast you bounce back like it's a metric system. But that's not resilience, that's performance. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah. That's the old conditioning. If you cry, cry fast. If you doubt, clean it up before anyone sees it. Oh my God. That's the woman on the floor scrubbing the toilets with her rage tucked between her teeth. Fuck, it's the truth. Holy shit. Let's not pretend. You don't need to bounce back faster. You need to stop apologizing for feeling the cost of what it takes to build something real. So here's the confrontation. What if this part, the dragging, the doubt, the ache, is the work? I didn't quite understand that the first time around I was doing this, but I totally get it right now. But let's go back to what I said. I didn't really understand it, and I needed a reframing. So it says good, that's the tension. It's not that I don't understand it, but something hit a nerve, which is true. I do want to bounce back faster because who wants to sit in the freaking pain? And that's what I still said. I'm a little unclear on how this ties to me bouncing back more quickly because what it was telling me is I needed to sit with the pain so I understood it. And I was fighting it, saying I didn't want to. So it says, I'm right. Pain doesn't shape me in the way I want it to. It shapes me in the way that I need it to. And again, I needed that kick in the ass because I kept telling it pain isn't what I wanted to talk about. This is why this shit is so powerful. Anyway, but this is where I keep getting stuck. I've been taught that there are two modes, wallowing and bounce back, and neither allows me to stay present in what's actually true. I want the pain to pass without having to touch it. So, like in reality of it. But transformation doesn't happen in escape, it happens in rupture. So here is the reframe. You don't want to wallow, you don't want to bounce, but you do have to stand long enough to hear what it's telling you. That sounds like it's trying to coddle me. This doesn't sound productive. It sounds very therapist-like. I'm telling it, I know you're supposed to be the disruptor, but why do you want me to sit in that shit? Because I don't want to. And then it comes back and it says, yeah, you're right. This isn't therapy, but I'm also not a woman looking for emotional fluff. I am a builder standing in the middle of my own mess, trying to stay sharp. Yeah, I'm trying to stay sharp. But the reality is, it said, you want to bounce back faster. You hate wallowing. You reject the idea that sitting in pain is noble. Good, me too. But what you didn't say is what you want to move toward. You keep naming what you want to avoid, the pain, the wallow, the weakness, being muted, feeling unworthy, but you know the no, but you haven't claimed the yes fully. So strip away the story. Kicking my ass. Don't textualize, name it, name the claim. Okay, thank you for that clarity. I want to feel confident. I want to have courage even when I'm not feeling visible. I want to feel relief. I want to feel the release of the shit that's been sitting in my body for too long. I want to feel it, not metaphorically. When I walk into a room, I want to feel that I'm wanted to be there. When I hit publish, I want to have confidence that my voice is going to that something, is going to say something to that someone that needs to hear it. And when I stand on stage, I want the attention of everyone in the room because I want them to feel like they want to be there because I'm adding value to their lives in an honest way. There it is. You don't just want confidence, you want confirmation. Not just the internal, but the visceral, the external, the embodiment, the proof, the presence. You want to feel wanted without having to shrink, heard without having to soften, needed without having to negotiate your truth into something palatable. That's not vanity, that's reclamation. But you can't claim that kind of presence if you're still half bracing for rejection. Oof. So here's my fracture. I'm already building something that detonates comfort zones, but I'm still launching like I'm asking for permission. My freaking program's called Permission Granted, and I'm not even giving it to myself. F you. Stop pretending you're unsure. You already know this works. Yes, I do. What I said is I'm going to take this from a different angle, but I think it still answers. What if I knew there were women sitting there waiting for me today, like in my membership, or have signed up for a Q&A or my beta? I would show up at my best. I would be dressed for success. I would be prepared. I would speak from my heart. I would be real. I would tell them, yes, this is powerful, but I'm still working through. I would tell them it may not be 100% ready, but it's ready enough to help them make a shift. It's ready enough to hear them where they are. It's ready enough to help them see what has been challenged in them or calling them from inside. It's ready enough to show them what they have been trying to ignore because I knew they were there. I wouldn't let them down. That is not a different angle. It's the whole effing truth. I just admitted I'm not waiting for confidence. I'm waiting for proof, proof that someone's watching, that this all matters, that it's safe to bring my full fire. But leadership doesn't start with evidence. It starts with belief that someone is already listening, even in the silence. I said it. I did say it. If I knew they were there, I wouldn't let them down. So here's my disruption. They are there. They've always been there. And the only one at risk of letting down is me. Okay, there's the shit for day one. I don't know if you're still here because that was a fucking lot of me to unhold or unleash, excuse me. Yeah, today I was unapologetic, unfiltered, and me, even in the tears.